Hello, everybody. Happy April 4th. How are we all doing? Welcome to Whole Fit Talks. Share if you're brand new over on Facebook, Whole Fit brand page, and Instagram. Hello. Nice to see you all here live, hopping in. Thank you, Taylor. Always appreciate the people that give me the good to go, GTG. Hello, nice to see you guys. Good morning, Rebecca, Jackie. Hi, Sam on Facebook. Yeah, say a quick hello to our community as you hop in. I'm really excited to share what's on my mind, on my heart today with you. And I hope you're all doing well where you are. Here in London, where I live, we have snow flurries right now. So I decided to embody spring for this live broadcast through my shirt, which I will let you all know is from the kids department at H&M. If you want to go shop where I shop. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well wherever you are in the world. Thanks for joining live. If you're brand new to this broadcast, we stream live almost every week at 12 o'clock Eastern on both Instagram through the Whole Fit channel and on Facebook. Hello. Hi, Keely. Love you, girl. You guys, go check out Keely's broadcast yesterday. It was so good. Over at Essentially Obsessed. Okay, let's do this. Who's ready to rock? I'm sharing today on the topic of the essence of doTERRA's leadership retreat. I'm not going to go through everything that was announced. Obviously, if you were there, you know everything that was announced. If you weren't there, be there next year. And then you'll be the first to learn. And so you'll see various things roll out in doTERRA over the next few months. What I actually wanted to share with you today was the heartbeat of this event, what it felt like to be in the room and just experience what is going to unfold, what was first shared at that event and what we're going to see unfold over the next couple months. So the essence, the heartbeat of that event. Before I do that though, happy birthday to Maya Angelou. One of my favorite things she has shared with our world is that people, I mean, I might butcher this a little bit, but people rarely will remember what you say. They'll rarely remember what you do, but they will always remember how you make them feel. I love that, right? I was talking with a friend on her podcast last night. It'll be released shortly. And we were talking about the experience of us, especially if you're somebody in sales, especially if you think of yourself as a leader, you have an experience about you. So people, whether they're on your team or they're attracted to the work that you do, it's because of the experience that you give them. And so maybe to honor Maya on her birthday, you could sit with that. Sit and think about what type of experience you leave people when they have experienced you, when they're in your presence. So happy birthday, Queen Maya. All right, so I'm going to do, let's see here. I'm going to do about 40 minutes sharing just my take on what's happening in the land of doTERRA. doTERRA is often referred to or compared to brands like Apple and Google in their early days because of the massive growth that they're seeing. And I'm gonna kind of open up the curtain with you guys and share what's going on. As I'm a double diamond leader in doTERRA. I have a very large team. I've been growing the brand within Canada primarily. We have a lot of work to do still here, but I've been growing the brand here now for almost 5 years. Or I should say the awareness of the brand. I think a couple years ago when I first started, it was a very different energy than what we're seeing now. Years ago when I was first sharing the oils here in Canada, I didn't know anybody that even had heard of doTERRA. And essential oils as a category or as a way of self-care was relatively very new. I mean, it was thought of as something kind of hippie-ish, as very alternative. Whereas now we're seeing that most people who come out to education classes or people that I talk to online, they've definitely heard of essential oils by now. And most have heard of doTERRA because doTERRA has been the single influence on the essential oil category. That's actually, they've been written about for that reason. This is why you're seeing essential oils everywhere you go today. And of course, the next question becomes, well, what is the difference? Or why might you pay more for doTERRA? Well, you know, what are you really getting through that purchase? Those kinds of things come up for people. And I would say a good majority of people decide to go through the path of least resistance initially. What I mean by that is they may come and learn about doTERRA and then they'll hop over to the mall and buy their oils because they need to go through this process of understanding what the oils can actually do. They need to go through the experience of using a brand like what they might purchase at the mall or even like the dollar store or the gas station. They need to go through that experience first to realize, oh, they don't really work. And they kind of like walk away from them for a little bit until they have their next wake-up call. And then they usually end up enrolling in doTERRA. So what I want to share with you today is the backstory, like what's going on, right? Why are you hearing about doTERRA from a lot of different places? Some of you might even have started to learn about doTERRA through the next phase, which would be through your health practitioner. doTERRA as a brand is starting to move into the next phase of growth. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So the growth and impact doTERRA is having in our world is unusual to many. When people hear about doTERRA being compared to big giants like Apple and Google, in their first 10 years, they start to take notice. Well, what is going on, right? So doTERRA is a debt-free billion-dollar company. It's privately owned, which makes my heart super happy because I'm not a fan of anybody who's owned by a lobbyist. Can we all agree that that never creates the kind of change or world that we need? When someone's future is bought through investors, through lobbyists, basically saying, I'll back you with this if you do this, we never get to where we need to go. And in a lot of areas in our world, we're unfortunately having to live in that space until we take empowerment and control of our life. So doTERRA doesn't make decisions to appeal to lobbyists or to Wall Street. This is a very important point, which is why doTERRA is so attractive as a business, is that they are not owned by anyone. They're privately owned, debt-free, powerful in what they can impact and influence because of that. Very important point. I talk about this quite often, but you need to look at that. Why are some companies inflating their numbers through maybe acquisitions or launching products that don't fit within their category at all? They're doing that to hype their numbers up. And there's none of that in doTERRA. So they make decisions that create health, freedom, and abundance to those that are interested. One distinction you'll see in doTERRA is that there is not this energy of recruiting people or trying to change people. I think in the beginning, truthfully, when I was first educating, I had to share the oils to position them as, if you're not interested in this, you're going to want to look at oils for this reason. So I had to use some reality within my marketing and help people see the bigger picture of how oils can be used to help them unhook themselves from a lifestyle that was leading to disease and aging and obesity and addiction. So we're out of that stage now where we don't have to position the oils that way to people to help them understand what they can do. People are genuinely interested in an alternative path. So a lot of that sharing has already happened. So you don't really need to help people understand, this is where we're at and this is where we need to go. People know that, and deep down they know that the lifestyle they're leading right now is not leading to a good place. It's not sustainable. So they're already looking for that, right? So for people seeking that right now, doTERRA is the answer. It's very attractive to people who want to unhook from that unhealthy lifestyle. Now, for people that prefer the lid over their head, they prefer somebody to tell them this is what you need to take in your body. For people who are outsourcing the ownership of their health, they don't really like what's going on right now. It's triggering something within them. They're seeing a lot of people unhooking from the old way. And it's upsetting. It's upsetting large populations of people who have spent their whole life in that box. Perhaps they've been promoting that box that is actually keeping people sick. We all can think of people like this, right? Their life is not the evidence of what they're promoting. If what they're promoting was truly creating health for people, we wouldn't see the statistics that we see today. So doTERRA is attractive to people who have a feeling that there is a higher way to live and love and lead. So you may have noticed this. For some of you, if you have been following my channel for a while, I've talked about various leaders in doTERRA. Some of you probably know someone in your community who represents this to you. You will find the highest level of personal ownership and responsibility and impact and influence within the highest levels in doTERRA. So there have been pioneers over the last 10 years who have come into doTERRA to really move this movement forward, if you will. They have been a high caliber of leadership because a brand always attracts the essence of who it is. And this is actually the same for all of you. Hands up, if you're building your own doTERRA business, you will have noticed this already. You attract your own energy to your work. So how you're showing up in your business is reflected greatly through the people in your community, in your team, or the people in your circle. And I mean, we see this as we grow to become a higher version of ourselves. There's a natural shuffling that happens within our inner circles, right? We start to bump up against the people that maybe have been in our life for a long time, maybe some for too long, right? And we don't share that same belief anymore about how this works. We don't share the same vision of what health and wealth and success and empowerment really means. And so there's this shuffling that has to take place. And that's a great thing. It's a great thing if you don't have the same people in your life now that you did 5 years ago when you were working in an office, 9 to 5, soul-sucking kind of environment. You should actually see a shuffling happening. Honor that some people are in your life for a season. But to this point of you will attract to the heart of your work. And doTERRA has done this at large. It started at the very top, you guys. 7 owners that began doTERRA that wanted to create a new way of healthcare and empowerment. It started with them. The only reason you see the caliber of leadership that you see in doTERRA and why it's growing so much is because of the hearts of those first 7 people. It wasn't one person at the top making all these decisions. It was 7 hearts that came together and have attracted the level, the quality of leadership that we see at the highest levels. I mean, even in 1 month, the month of November, correct me if I'm wrong here, leaders that are on, there were over 120 people that hit the rank of diamond just in the month of November. It's unusual to see that kind of growth in a company. And a diamond level leader, just so you guys know, a diamond level leader will have connected at least $12,000 worth of oils into homes every month. That's what a diamond level leader would be impacting in their communities and working with leaders to do. That would be the minimum. I haven't met a diamond yet that did it with only that, but that, just to give you an example of the kind of growth and attraction doTERRA is experiencing, that's just 1 month. So we, as the pioneers of this over the last 10 years, have kind of created the start of this movement, right? But we're about to enter the next stage. And this was a lot of my take on leadership this year. It was really being clear, like, here's what's happening. Here's where we're going. Do you want to be a part of this? Yeah? Awesome. Let's stay in the work. Let's not quit on ourselves. Let's not quit on our communities. Let's really be a part of this change that the world is seeking. And I'm a huge fan of this type of human being that identifies that they are meant to be here in this work. Now, doTERRA does not attract what you'll see in a lot of other companies within the network marketing industry. Every once in a while, I'll have somebody who says to me, hey, Ange, I'm going to do what you did. I'm going to go to the top. And I can tell through their energy, it's very self-serving, that they think this is about them making money. Of course, money and freedom is essential for the type of impact you're here to have. but it is certainly not going to get you to where you want to go if your focus is to make money. I mean, those people don't do well in doTERRA. So I'm a huge fan of humans who understand that they're here to be a part of something massive and to be able to tell their own children, through the work that I did, I was able to impact the type of healthcare you experience today. I can't wait to continue this work with my kids as they get older, and to see what that looks like. I know I'll be doing this work with my daughters, but I love that I can share that confidently with them, that the world that they're experiencing, I felt a responsibility to help create in a small way. Obviously, no one of us impacts this kind of change. It's through a massive movement where people step up and say, I belong here. I was created to do this type of work because my heart, I just want to help people. That's who does well in doTERRA. So I consistently hear from people who have their hearts in check that when they come across doTERRA, they feel like they have come home. Can you relate to that feeling? I remember the first time I opened a bottle of, I got my little starter kit in about 5 years ago. I was in my kitchen. I had a little bit of a sore throat, and I didn't know how to use the oils, because obviously we all begin this journey of learning, right? And I grabbed my bottle of On Guard blend, a protective blend, and I just took the cap off. And I remember standing in my kitchen. I hadn't started sharing the oils at all yet. I actually took 6 months to just learn about the oils before I ever was going to talk about them, because that's just my own way. I have to really dissect something and research it and know that it's aligned with my heart before I ever share. And you guys know that about me, right? So I spent months, and I finally opened up that bottle, and I remember just standing in my kitchen and breathing it in. And it was like zing, I felt this, I can't describe it any other way than this thunderbolt go through me, where I'm like, what am I doing? I have to share these with people. I certainly did not have this awareness of what was going to happen. It wasn't even in my radar what might happen next, but I needed to show up for the women, and specifically for the mothers who were just like me with 2 littles at home, eager to do the best for their family. And it was a deep, a radical responsibility that hit me in that moment, where it's like, you know what? I'm going to release what might happen next. I don't care one bit what people think about me sharing these oils, whether they have issues with wealth, or network marketing, essential oils, what that might mean to their agenda. I did not care. I decided to let it rip. Okay. I had this experience where I thought, if not me, then who? Am I going to wait around for someone else to start doing this and have that feeling 5 years from now that I should have shared that too? I've been using these oils. I mean, how many of you have been using the oils in your home for years and have never really helped someone else, or given someone else the opportunity to have this in their own life? I know a lot of us can reflect on that time in our life where we held back for some reason, and then all of a sudden you have that moment in your kitchen, right? You take that cap off and you're like, you know what? Screw it. I don't care what people think about me sharing this. I mean, you follow your heart, and this is what, you have that feeling of, I'm home here. That really was that feeling. I opened that bottle and I thought, this is what I've been looking for the whole time. I'm the girl who, I love health tools, because I will always be the one investing in tools for my health and well-being long before I will ever invest it in clothing or cars or things that are not going to really create my best life. I am hands up all the way, super fan. My house is full of every health gadget you have ever seen, that actually works, right? I don't hang on to things that don't promote that in me, but I will always invest there first. And when I first came across the oils, that overwhelming feeling of, I am home here and I have to share this people, and I do not care what people think. And I decided in that moment I was never going to care what people think. And I'm honored to be at the front of this. I'm honored to be the one that people attack in my own city, in my country. And trust me, I get it all. I'm honored to take the hit for this because of how important this work is. And it is a privilege. It is such a gift to share these oils with people. And I will always be doing this work. And so the thing within doTERRA, so I need to get back on track. I have a lot to share. And I can very much go off on tangents with this topic, right? So whether you're one of the millions, like doTERRA is going to hit 7 million customers very soon across the world. These are customers, you guys. These are people just purchasing the oils at wholesale cost, like everybody does. Like if you're listening to me right now and you don't have your own wholesale account, you don't know, you get them through somebody, or you go to the store and you pay full price for them somewhere at a health food store in your neighborhood. Don't do that. Get yourself set up for success in your home. Get your own wholesale account. You don't order monthly. You just order whenever you want. It's like having your own Costco account, right? For health products. So whether you're one of the millions that do it that way, or you are rising up as a leader in the largest natural health movement on earth today, there is a ripple effect happening at every level, right? We see it within the business and we see it within the customer base. So doTERRA, when it first started out, it had to be through the network marketing model. So I want to hear from you guys online. You know, why did it have to be this way? Because the most common route for a typical product would be to go through like Whole Foods, right? Or to go through the big box stores. Why did doTERRA have to go through this route based on what their vision is for changing the healthcare system? Comment, share with us. I just want to see if you guys understand this, because this is like the first thing that you'll experience when you do start to step up in your life and share the oils. People will say to you, oh, is it network marketing? Almost like it's a negative thing. So I want you to understand why it had to be this way. Education, support, community, word of mouth is best. People always trust their friends over somebody working at a retail store, right? Yeah, totally. Alima, yes. Education, support. A lot of you are saying education. doTERRA is an education, science, research-based company. So this way of life needs to be taught. But I would say even before that, back up a bit, it needs to be modeled. It needs to be modeled in your community. Like you are the one people know honors your health, right? So they want to come to you. You guys are awesome. You get this, right? Skepticism is huge. Education is necessary. That's right, Christine. To teach and support the people to understand the use of oils, it's a must, absolutely. So you guys are getting this. So when you understand this, it helps you go into those conversations with more ease, because this is kind of an icky feeling people have about the industry. Now, why do they have this? Let's go to that next part. So doTERRA had to be within this model, but it's not like all the other guys in this model. And I'm curious, is anybody on right now who has ever been part of another network marketing company that came over to doTERRA? I'd love for you to share in the comments what that experience was like for you. Or have you ever been a customer of another network marketing company and then you were hesitant to start ordering doTERRA? People come into doTERRA with a lot of these muddy perceptions of what this is. There is no recruiting. In fact, less than 10% in doTERRA actually do this as a business. And even deeper, I don't like anyone enrolling to do this as a business, to be honest. I'd way rather you start your journey as a customer and work on your health before you ever think you're going to help someone else do that. So there is no monthly minimum. doTERRA has a monthly program called the LRP, right? Loyalty Rewards Program. It's really one of the only programs in the world that rewards you for living healthy. And somebody who's living truly healthy in their home through using the oils and cleaning up their self-care products and their green cleaning products, they're obviously going to be having the tools in their home every month to support that lifestyle, right? Somebody who says they eat healthy would not be going out to eat for every single meal. They would be meal planning in some way. They would be bringing whole foods into their home. So those people that tend to do that, that plan to be healthy, they are the ones that order monthly through doTERRA's loyalty rewards program. But everyone else doesn't, okay? Most people, when they get started with doTERRA, they need a couple of months at least before they start to realize, wow, I feel amazing. It feels really good to have this form of self-directed healthcare in my home. And you don't purchase oils every single month. Some people go through quite a bit, but we, in our home, we purchase, I buy probably between $400 and $500 worth every single month because I was going to be spending that money somewhere else anyway, such as buying like my healthy laundry detergent and my cleaning supplies and our supplements, the kids' vitamins, our supplements. I mean, it is super costly to my mindset and my business if I don't take care of myself with food, exercise, supplements, and reducing my exposure to chemicals. It's really costly. And I'm just like not interested in any other way. So I invest in those tools every month. That's why I do it. Now, because I've been ordering every month for at least a year, right? I told you I've been in doTERRA now for 5 years. I earn 30% back on every month's order in free product points. So it's genius, right? But you don't have to do it. And you can ease your way into it. So there's a lot of that needs to be unpacked for people, I think, because the network marketing industry, unfortunately, has a bad reputation because some of the big guys in network marketing, some of the big companies that aren't so big anymore, doTERRA is the largest one in the US, probably getting close to being the largest one in Canada. They've done it completely different. So it's all shifting. But, you know, typically in the network marketing, or sometimes called MLM, multi-level marketing world, we see typically in other businesses, we see a company largely focused on money. It's all hype, big checks and flashy cars on the stage. You do not see 1 second of that at doTERRA's leadership event, where I'll have you know that was the highest leaders in the company. A lot of wealth in that room, but nobody in doTERRA screams new money, okay? The lifestyle will never show you that. So the money is very essential for people, for their freedom, like I've said, and for impact, but you won't see that flashy hype, come and join us and become rich kind of talk, because that is not what this work is, okay? It's about becoming whole, returning to wholeness. So in other companies where you see this, they often have 1 or 2 products. Maybe one of their products is a real rock star, and you'll see them start to branch off into other categories just to bring money in. We see this in a lot of network marketing companies right now with essential oils. Like, name me a network marketing company that hasn't yet launched an essential oil line, and you will see it within the year. Because we see this start to happen when there's a lot of hype in a company, when the rock star product isn't enough to sustain the growth. Retention in these companies is often low as well. So we see like a 10 to 15% retention rate. And that's because, again, the product doesn't really work, or it's a lot of hype. So you see leaders within these companies really good at getting people like hyped up and excited, and then they lose them really quick. Whereas in doTERRA, there's at least a 65% retention rate. It's the highest in the industry because the product works. The product is something, when you start using essential oils, would you really go back? Like, and I'm talking doTERRA, when you start using pure essential oils that are effective, that work in your home, that start to bring you back to wholeness, to the health that has been there in your body the whole time, that you've been unfortunately led astray and polluting through other ways for years. When you return back to wholeness, would you ever choose to go back to the other way? Why would we do that, right? So that is why there's such a high retention rate within doTERRA. You can't put a dollar amount on the feeling as a human being of taking greater ownership and control and responsibility for your health and leaving the other routes available to us for what they're truly designed to be there for. I'm grateful for modern medicine. I'm so grateful it's there for us. You know, I went to go meet with a friend of mine here in London. He's interested in being one of the first doctors in London to be part of the healthcare initiative I'll talk about in a moment. But we went to him because he's super evolved. Smart guy, takes great care of his health, and we share the same beliefs about our body. And I knew if I wanted to go get like a full gamut run. I haven't seen a doctor. In fact, I just renewed my health card 2 weeks ago. Hadn't had to use it I haven't used it in 5 years. I haven't used it since I had to check into the hospital to have Emmy. So I'm grateful that health card is there in my wallet, but I'm more grateful that I rarely have to use it. Okay. So there's not hype here. And in doTERRA, what we see happening, because you have a large focus on product, a large selection of products that are effective and supportive to true health, a high retention, real education, real empowerment happening within the company and at events, not hype, the co-impact sourcing model, which creates full circle abundance around the world. This is key. The highest quality oils and quality testing, which allows doTERRA to have the opportunity to reduce the burden on healthcare. I'm going to talk about that more in a moment. And a company focused still, coming up to their 10-year anniversary is on the 25th of this month. A company that is still focused on what it was from day one, on introducing essential oils to every person possible around the world. This is why it's moving more into the next phase that I'm excited to share more on. So what is doTERRA really? Is it just an essential oil company? There's a lot more happening because of this work. It's certainly at its core, the product is the purest, most trusted, most tested brand of essential oils in the world, yes. But what is happening through this is true healing, whether you're talking about physically, emotionally, financially for many, sometimes spiritually. I would say most times spiritually, it's all connected. It's a powerful vehicle for creating that kind of change. And there was a Gallup poll that they shared at leadership. So Gallup, you may have heard of before, StrengthsFinder. Gallup was there to introduce a whole new strength-based leadership program into doTERRA. It's called Empowered You. It's knowing your gifts, knowing your strengths and working from there and letting your weaknesses collect dust, basically, right? So Gallup shared that the number one thing they've learned through all the polls they've done, okay, they have a huge database. The number one thing lacking in our world today is hope. So think about that. Think about what the oils are actually providing people in their life. It's not a placebo. It works. But what it's really doing is it's giving them hope for the first time that they can come back to wholeness in their body, that they can start to trust their body again, that they can feel connected through community. That gives people a lot of hope. A lot of the work we do in connection, in friendship, in community, in team building, people are starving for that today. Starving. Like it's non-existent. We've lost the village. We've lost that sense of community. We are more connected than ever, yet we feel this lack of connection on a deep level. And being able to surround yourself with like-minded people and be in a community together is huge. And it ends up affecting every wheel of health. So I'm going to keep focused here on my flow. I've got my notes here. So in less than 10 years, doTERRA is now the largest essential oil company in the world and the largest network marketing company in the US. Will be in Canada shortly. Now this is seen through things like earlier this week, doTERRA announced its annual convention. How many of you have been there? Tap the screen if you've gone there. I mean, there are people, doctors, stay-at-home moms, health coaches that come from all over the world that aren't even in doTERRA, because that is the one singular event each year where they're going to learn about the research, science, sourcing on the largest essential oil company in the world, right? So people come to really just fill up their library of awareness and knowledge on what's going on. doTERRA sold 35,000 seats out within 24 hours. There were a lot of people on my own team that did not get tickets to this event. It was a frenzy. Like, they crashed the internet. We don't see this anywhere else. This is the largest natural health event of its kind in the world. And doTERRA is doing a wonderful job from a sourcing standpoint to keep up with the growth, the sustainability, and the demand for pure essential oils. But these are growing pains, you guys. This company is growing much faster than we've ever seen a company grow like this. And so even for this convention, they had to secure the event 3 years ago. For big conventions like this, the actual venue and location has to be contracted years out. So they could not have really predicted what's going on. I think this would be a dream for any company to have this type of problem, but it is a problem, right? It's the growing pains that you see. So if, for example, in the last year, some of the stats they shared at Leadership, doTERRA's had 47% global growth within 1 year. And if you want to contrast that to the public numbers that various other companies have released, we see companies like Isogenics, they grew 4% globally. USANA grew 10%. USANA's been around for, I think, over 20 years. So it's awesome to see that they're still growing. But in contrast, doTERRA has a huge demand on them. And they're also, when you think about it, their core product is not something they're making in a lab, okay? So you can construct supplements and skincare and makeup all day long to support the growth. But when you're talking about sourcing pure plant magic from all over the world, you have a very different concern. Sustainability for that is a huge concern. They're bottling more oils in 1 day now than they did last year in 5 months total, right? So there's just a ton of growing pains that they're going through, but I think they're doing a really great job keeping up with that. So the healthcare initiative was a big focus this year at Leadership. And some of you have heard me talk about this before, or you've seen it shared online. I shared yesterday some of the materials I brought in to meet with a local doctor here. There's a lot of curiosity around how doTERRA's, what their vision is for being part of the solution within healthcare. So they're starting a healthcare initiative where we're going to see a couple of clinics open up, I think early 2019. So all the work's being done right now. The facilities are actually being built. So they basically, if you go to, Jill, could you link up the form? I think it's doTERRAhealthcare.com. I think that's the right one, or you could Google it probably and find the right link. There's basically a list where practitioners, physicians, doctors, can add themselves to a list to learn about the symposiums doTERRA is doing specifically for them to come and learn about this initiative and be a part of it. When they first announced that the first 2 clinics were set to open early next year, they received 1,200 resumes from doctors. They were very specific on what they were looking for. Did I lose you guys on Facebook? I don't know why my camera just went out. They were very specific what they were looking for with doctors to basically launch this. So they whittled that down. They found their the ones that they wanted to start with. And that was kind of the first announcement of that. It got a lot of exposure. Okay, thanks, Joanne. I can't see myself talking, so awesome. Thanks, you guys. So basically, the goal here is to introduce essential oils to people where they can truly partner with their doctor. So these facilities will be eventually all across the US in major cities. And I think probably within 2 to 3 years, we'll see them start to come into Canada. And this will be an opportunity for people to have a buffet of healthcare options where their doctor will be there in-house working with them with essential oils and also working with pharmaceuticals. So that option will truly be there, which is super empowering because at the end of the day, we want to feel like we have access to various options that, given a situation, we can make an empowered choice, right? So yeah, I see a lot of you commenting, if you live in a major city within the US, you can expect to see probably one of these opening in the next 2 years. So, okay, let me keep going. What else do I want to share about that? Okay, so 7 things they shared about these healthcare clinics at leadership. doTERRA clinics will provide highest quality care by using a patient-centric model to improve outcomes and lower the cost of healthcare. They will offer licensed physicians to treat disease. So it will be all straight up. Like there will be various options within that because of what the research is teaching us that many of us who have been using oils already know to be true, right? So this is furthering a lot of that research. They'll offer unrestricted access to primary care physicians and teams through phone calls, emails, and text. There will be a monthly charge to be a part of these clinics. So many of you pay into some form of this already. This all needs to be flushed out in Canada because we don't have free healthcare. I think it's inaccurate to describe it that way. We pay a lot more in our personal taxes to have access to free healthcare. Disadvantages still with that, right? Those of you that live in Canada know what I'm referring to. Long wait times, poor service, in and out kind of conversations with your doctor. So there will also be education, right? Education to help really empower people around their total health picture within these facilities. There will be a lot of research happening because of these facilities. Okay, so this is going to be the next necessary step in the growth of educating on essential oils, because the reality is, you guys understand this, a lot of people will not do something unless their doctor has said, have you considered this? Have you considered peppermint for your digestive issues? Before we get you on a drug, have you considered the alternative yet? Until doctors are saying that, often you'll find patients, they need to leave with something. Like it's almost it's expected if you go to visit your doctor, you're expecting to leave with a treatment, right? So the conversation needs to change. And it needs to be something ideally that starts with the patient asking, but we'll see doctors start to do that more, where they're encouraging their patients to take more ownership of their health. So it's working together within that model. So that is coming, and that's going to be a huge undertaking. I mean, I am so inspired by how big doTERRA is showing up in our world. This is a huge challenge. Huge. This is now getting into the territory of just truly disrupting. I mean, the healthcare industry is ripe for disruption. Yeah, like it is time for a change, but there are a lot of people who are very interested financially in keeping it where it's at. And so for you, it starts with you. If you're hearing me say this right now, and you have a feeling that it's time for you to step up in your own life and be your own advocate, because no one's going to do that for you, then it's time for you to start integrating the tools into your home to be able to do that. So connect with whoever has been guiding you in doTERRA up till now, even if just to ask some questions, because at some point you're going to need to learn the new way. And if you want to wait a couple years, then it'll be something your doctor does encourage, because they're going to have to. When we know that 100% of the budget is going to be dedicated to disease and sick care within the next few years, we have a big problem, right? We have a huge problem on our hands. So yeah, Noni said, it amazes me how many pediatricians haven't even heard of essential oils. Well, here's the thing. Your doctor is so overwhelmed and taxed, and many of them are sick and unhealthy in their own body because of how run down they are. There's a lot on their plates. They don't have the time to learn about essential oils. This is why for those that have, for those doctors that have always been a little more evolved in understanding, you know, the various ways to bring a body back to health, they're the ones signing up for info from doTERRA on this healthcare initiative. For those that are so overwhelmed in their work, they don't even have time to eat most days. They certainly don't have time to keep up on all the research with essential oils. It starts with us. So me going and meeting that doctor yesterday and bringing him information, I had to make it super concise for him because I know how busy it is. So I I linked him up to over 18,000 PubMed research studies so he could, pick through and find what he needs. And we have to start the conversation, but it starts with us. I mean, the more that patients bring this up to their doctor, the more their doctor is going to start to look into it, right? They're already at that stage, really. I think a lot of people are starting to say, this doesn't feel like the right next move. Is there an alternative I can use? And maybe their doctor, if he has been educated before, will say, well, have you considered peppermint, or have you considered boosting your immune system with something like On Guard if you're somebody who is constantly sick? You know what I mean? Like those conversations are starting to happen. So doTERRA, here's how I want to kind of recap this event. doTERRA has figured out how to provide the framework to empower people at every level. Okay. Hi, Robin. Dr. Robin Fawcett's on. You guys are hopefully following her by now. She said that you can also refer doctors to the doTERRA Facebook group just for physicians. Awesome. I'm not sure where that is. I'm not sure if it probably does not allow people who are not physicians there. I'll look for that and we'll link it up. Maybe you could message me with it. I'm not sure if it's an open book or an open group on Facebook. So doTERRA has set the stage to empower people at every angle. So they have empowered living, right? The empowered life is education and the oils. So you start with your starter kit and then you are educated in a big way. How many of you, when you first started with the oils, had no idea all the value that was waiting for you through your community, through doTERRA? I mean, doTERRA does a monthly webinar. Like every single month, there is a free webinar, various webinars actually, on a certain topic. So for example, in April, they're doing the topic of daily health habits, cultivating a healthy routine for yourself. It's free. How many of you know about it? That like there's tons of education waiting for you once your oils come in. Like you will never even be able to get through it all. So it's there for you, and you need to take it one stage at a time. So that's empowered living. Then we have empowered success, which is learning how to do the business if that feels aligned for you. If you're part of the 10%, you want to create a whole model of health in your life. You cannot do anything in this world unless you are free. I'll tell you that right now. Get over those issues you're having right now with earning money because it's going to make someone else in your life feel bad. How are you ever going to live a big, beautiful, bold, impactful life if you are not free? So get over it. Like it is all for you. You need to be plugged into a model that helps you unplug from the restrictive system. Okay. So empowered success is doTERRA's roadmap for growing the business. It starts with, there's a live guide, there's a share guide, there's a build guide, and there's a launch guide. Beautiful color booklets. They're available in e-form online. Jill, let's link that up for people. Live guide, share guide, build guide, launch guide. The launch guide teaches you how to, kick off your business in the best way, how to start sharing the oils, how to help people get connected on their journey using the oils, how to teach classes. It's all there for you. Some of you who keep talking about how your business isn't growing, it's time for you to relaunch your business. Go open up the launch guide and get to work. It's all there. Now, after you launch your business, there are maps now for the various leadership levels you will need to grow into. So they're not as rank-based as they used to be. Now they are really focused on key components. So for example, I believe, to go to silver, it's about learning how to lead. To go to gold, it's about learning how to train, right through to influencing as a blue diamond. And they're incredible guides. They're so packed with value. That's called empowered success. That's a whole library there for you. One unified system in doTERRA. It's needed, right? Because there's so many people joining. People that are enrolling now to do the business on my team, they are not interested in doing what I did in the first couple years. I will tell you that. Millennials especially, their time span is like 8.6 seconds. Do you really think that they want to have to create their own programs for, coaching people? And no, they just want to get out there and share the oils. And so empowered success has a stage there for you. There is actually no reason you should ever say you don't know what to do to build a doTERRA wellness business. Please don't ever say that. It's like all there for you. It's unfortunately, You've got some fear and some selfishness that's coming up. So once you move through that, you'll see that it's all there for you. And then Empowered You, this is a brand new library that incorporates StrengthsFinder, the doTERRA way. So when you learn what your top 5 strengths are, you learn what that looks like through doTERRA, through the Empowered You library. There's like, so let's say you have the same number 1 strength that I do, which is activator, all about taking action, modeling that for my team. If that's your top strength, you can go to Empowered You and learn, oh, cool, this is what that looks like in doTERRA. This is how I leverage that. Or if I'm working with someone who's an activator, this is how I know how to speak with them, how to coach them. So super cool stuff that was shared from Gallup and StrengthsFinder. What's really neat and what I loved about what they shared, the chances of someone having the same top 5 strengths as you in the same order is 1 in 33 million. There are 34 strengths that you do an assessment and learn about. And there are actually only 10 people in the US who have ever had the same top 5. Crazy. In the same order, right? So that's pretty nuts. I think when you understand that, you know, okay, cool, I'm here to do certain work in a certain way. When you focus on your strengths, nothing is lost to us. You show up in the most vibrant way in your business. It's authentic, it's real. And doTERRA is like, how can we help people tap into that faster so that this is a joyful, meaningful business for them to build? No one's ever been you on our planet. So when you learn to work through your strengths and your gifts and help people in that way, this business feels radically different than when you were copying someone else. So cool. So, I mean, this is an hour-long recap. The essence of leadership was, here's where we're headed. Are you in or not? Like, some of you will wait. Some of you will wait. You're even waiting as I talk about the oils and you're still thinking in the old way. You're still thinking, well, until, you know, it's something that my doctor tells me to do, I'm not going to do it. And the thing is, the issue with that thinking is there are other areas in your life where you are outsourcing your ownership. So it's a chance for us to check in on that. So anyway, I hope that you found that helpful. I'm going to offer up about 5 minutes of live coaching in a moment. Instagram, I'm going to lose you in a few minutes, but I wanted to let you guys know there's 2 things going on, especially for those of you that are listening to this and you don't have your oils yet and you know, you just know it's time. There's a really cool promo on this month with doTERRA. So if you enroll with a starter kit, one of the various starter kits, you're going to get 50 free product points, which is so cool. You can cash those in on a future order. You don't have to be on monthly orders to receive those. So let's say you enroll with like a home essentials kit, the one I started with, gives you a diffuser and the top 10 oils. You're going to get 50 free product points that you can cash in for, I don't know, like let's say you want to try tangerine and cedarwood for sleep. And I'm like making up a 50 PV order in my head as I'm talking. Tangerine, cedarwood, and because they wouldn't have come in your initial kit. What's another one? Maybe like a peppermint roller bottle. That would take you to about 50. You'd get those free just for starting in the month of April. So that's called the 50-50 promo. So make sure you connect with the person that's been guiding you. If that's me, I'd love to help you. So Jill will post my link there. I've got info on my website on WholeFit. If you just click over to Essential Oils, you can see it there. Also, there's a Health Habits Challenge. doTERRA is running starting April 15th, running till May 13th. So it's running for 30 days. It's all about the daily health habits. And you order a certain collection in. You can actually order it all as a kit at a reduced price. So even for those of you that have your own wholesale account already, you can order this collection. It's going to have LLV in it. It's going to have Deep Blue Rub and various oils to participate in this daily health challenge. Coolest thing ever. It's going to basically inspire you to develop a routine. And for many of you, for the first time ever, you know, maybe your oils have been collecting dust because you just haven't known how to get into a routine with them. This is going to teach you. So I have actually a page on my website where I gave you all the details on this health challenge. Make sure you order by tomorrow so that you have everything in by April 15th. Last thing I'll mention, I'm heading to Kingston, Ontario in a couple weeks to collaborate on an event. I'll be speaking at that event, talking about the invisible partner in your business. So if you're in that area, we'll add the info for that to the show notes and the link if you want to register and join us. But let's wrap up. Instagram, join me on Facebook if you want about 10 minutes of live coaching. I do need to get on another call, an important one, but I just wanted to see what's up, how you guys are feeling about this info shared today. We'll see you later, Instagram. And Facebook Live. Does anybody have any quick questions? Let me scroll through your comments. Yeah, Jenny, Boston would be a great first place for a healthcare facility. Lots of comments. Okay, let me see here. Gloria, hey, how are you doing? It's so nice to see you on here. So Gloria said she has been involved with several network marketing companies because it was the only option as a mom to let me contribute to our household income while being a stay-at-home mom. All three had good products, so 3 different companies, but the focus was always on the pressure to sell instead of education and personal growth. Our doTERRA culture is something I've never experienced within a company before, and the compensation plan is hands down the best you'll ever find. Great products, great culture, great company. I do agree. Love it. All right, no questions live. We've got 147 viewers. You guys are good with that content today. If you are growing a doTERRA business, you'll want to be there next year. It's hard to, there's osmosis that happens at these events when you're surrounded by people who are just knocking it out in their life, health-wise, in their business. Everything starts to heal when we come to a place of taking ownership with our health first, and then to share that opportunity with other people. So cool. You guys are good with the content. I'm going to wrap this up today. I'll be back next week. We'll do live Q&A. So if you want to add any questions to the queue, we'll post the link shortly in the comments there. I've got a few that have come in since last week. So we'll show up and play together and do some live coaching, whatever's on your mind, whether it's health, business, entrepreneurship, being a mom, using the oils, whatever's on your heart. I love to share on these topics because they've radically changed my life. I believe so much in this work. And I love spending this time with you. So thank you for joining live. Thanks for sharing this out with your teams. We'll get this uploaded as a podcast as Whole Fit Talks over on iTunes. So we'd love for you to pop over there and subscribe. Then you'll always get the latest episodes as they upload. If you feel led to leave a review, would so appreciate it. It helps other people find the show. Great to be on with you guys. We'll see you next week.